Governor Little was also busy yesterday evening signing House Bill 71 into law. It bans gender-affirming health care for transgender minors, including things like puberty blockers, hormones, and surgeries, which aren't performed in Idaho, by the way. Under the new law, any doctors who prescribe those treatments could be charged with a felony.
One organization plans to challenge this law in court to stop it from going into effect entirely. The ACLU of Idaho calls it unconstitutional and plans to sue the state. Our Jude Binkley talked with the ACLU about their decision to do this, as well as the bill's author, who's confident in this law. Jude?
Well, the Vulnerable Child Protective Act passed in the Senate and overwhelmingly in the House. Now that Governor Little signed it, the law will go into effect January 1st, 2024.
Disappointed and, to be honest, heartbroken that this was the case.
The reaction from ACLU of Idaho Tuesday evening when Governor Little signed House Bill 71 into law, which bans gender-affirming health care for transgender minors, including puberty blockers, hormones, and surgeries. In response, the civil rights nonprofit is forging a legal challenge to the law, calling it
it's unconstitutional, blatantly unconstitutional. And the reason for that is because it discriminates against a class of people based on transgender status and on sex, right? So singling out transgender youth and prohibiting, their attainment of health care is discriminatory.
The ACLU says the bill is an example of government overreach.
The government doesn't have any business interfering with private and frankly quite personal decisions that folks might make about their health care.
The ACLU says the bill is harmful to healthcare providers across the state who could be charged with a felony for providing gender-affirming care to minors. It also leaves a dilemma for the parents of transgender kids.
Do they ensure the safety of their child, which they know rests on obtaining the best medical care possible for their kid, or do they risk, criminal charges? And I think forcing families into that kind of decision-making is really unfair.
Those behind the bill are confident that the law will be vindicated.
Well, we're disappointed that the ACLU would waste taxpayer dollars by attacking constitutionally sound, morally sound, scientifically sound legislation.
Blaine Canzotti is the author of House Bill 71.
This bill protects kids from harmful drugs and procedures that wreak havoc on children's bodies. It's well within the state of Idaho's prerogative to regulate these types of medical interventions.
Canzotti says the state has an interest to protect the health and morals of citizens,
especially children. It's well within the power of the state to regulate medicine when medicine goes awry and doctors violate their Hippocratic oath to do no harm. This legislation is constitutional, it's legally sound and defensible, and we will win in court. Children who struggle with gender dysphoria need real help, not harm. But these sex change drugs and procedures wreak havoc on children's developing bodies. This legislation is important. It fulfills the state government's role to protect children.
The lawsuit against the state has not been filed yet. The ACLU is writing a legal challenge and are looking to partner with anyone who the bill impacts.
As we move forward and are preparing our lawsuit, we're really interested in working quite closely with folks who are directly impacted. And that, as I said, is trans kids, it's their parents, and it's also the healthcare community, right? So providers who are worried about this bill, we urge them to get into contact with us and figure out next steps. Trans kids are loved, and they deserve to feel, love and acceptance just like every other kid. And they deserve to have, appropriate health care just like every other kid.
Now, this isn't the first time the ACLU has sued the state. They filed a lawsuit on behalf of athlete Lindsay Hecox over a 2020 law that banned transgender women and girls from taking part in women's sports. And Morgan and Brian, that lawsuit is still playing out. Again, as things stand now, House Bill 71 will take effect January 1st, 2024.
So similar to the Hecox bill, they need an actual person
Yes.
to be able to get behind this and be that plaintiff.
An injured party.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
got it. All right, Jude, thank you.